Hi, I'm Alex. Today I'll be talking to you about fair trade, defining it for you, and talking to you about the principles of fair trade. Now, to put it very simply, fair trade is a system in which artists and farmers in developing countries are paid a fair wage and work in safe and empowering conditions for their goods. For instance, no sweatshop labor, never any child labor. There are 9 principles of fair trade as established by the Fair Trade Federation, which is the largest fair trade certification party in the United States and Canada. Today I'll be talking to you about 3 of those principles. The first one I want to talk to you about is developing transparent and accountable relationships. As this graph shows, that shows the conventional supply chain versus a fair trade supply chain. There are many, many less steps in a fair trade supply chain. For one thing, what this means is for the consumer, it's a less expensive product because on a conventional supply chain, every time you go up another notch, the product is getting more expensive. What this also means is there's just more of cultivating a relationship between the producers, the artists, the people who end up ultimately selling the products. The next principle I'd like to talk to you about is safe and empowering work conditions. The picture shown here is the exact opposite of that. What this is a photo of is the Rana Plaza factory collapse in Bangladesh in 2011. This was the worst tragedy in the history of the garment industry. Over 1,100 people died, and this would never happen in fair trade because, for one, the conditions inside the factory were deplorable, but clearly the building itself was unsafe since it collapsed. Whereas in fair trade, we'd be making sure that people are working in a safe building, and then that the conditions inside the building, had proper ventilation, people were getting breaks, being paid, a fair wage for what they are doing and how much time they're spending there. The last principle I'll talk to you about today is respecting cultural identity. What's really cool about fair trade, and what is my personal favorite thing about fair trade, is the merging of Western fashion and Eastern artistry. So, for example, our tunics are cut in a way that's going to appeal to perhaps an American woman, but the embroidery you'd see is very usually traditionally Indian. For instance, a lot of the tunics that we carry are done in the Shikankari style of embroidery, which is native to the region of Uttar Pradesh in India. But if we were to sell, that embroidery on a tunic that was cut in a way that traditionally women wear in India, it probably wouldn't sell very well for us here to your average woman. So they work with American designers to do it in a way that will sell in the Western world. So if nothing else, there's 2 things I hope you take away from our talk today. One is that fair trade is not a charity. It is people being treated how they should be treated. And 2, that everything you ever buy comes from somewhere, and you just need to think about where it's coming from. Thank you.